Adam Drummond from Wagga and we've just seen online WHS founder Phil Bamford talk about the system features, but you always want to know what's going on with the customers and how they find it, and that's why I'm now talking to co-proprietor of Wagga Motors, Scott Braid. Mate, you've been using online WHS now for a few years. Just overall, how have you found it's worked with your systems, with your personnel? How have you found it?
Yeah, Adam, I think that the system, when we took it on around about 3 years ago, in simplistic terms, it allowed us to take our work health and safety policies, procedures and documents from a file that big,
Yeah.
to put it onto a desktop. So to that, it then just made it more accessible, and not only more accessible for me, but all of our staff.
And you find as well within this system that it's quite adaptable to your own needs. So you can take it out of the box and use it the way that the templates are there, but you can also adapt it to your own needs, Wagga Motors specifically. Have you done much of that? Have you adapted things so that it's just for you guys?
Without a doubt, you need to customise it.
Okay.
And I think the importance of customising it, it makes it more relevant to you. If it was just generic, then it's not always going to be compatible for everyone's needs and wants, but being able to customise it means that you have greater engagement with it.
Now, we're going to go over and actually have a demonstration with some of your guys over in the depot. But one of the things that Phil says is a big plus on this system is the QR codes. Being able to create a QR code, put it on a bit of equipment, put it on the plant itself. How do you use that at Wagga Motors?
We use it predominantly on equipment that can be high risk.
Okay.
So it is our hoist predominantly in our car and truck workshops. The reason why I really like the QR codes, it has involvement and engagement with the people that are working on that equipment day in, day out. So instead of just having a policy, which as I said, just can sit in a file, it is actually taking our work health and safety policies, procedures and expectations onto the work floor and having our staff use it every single day. And if anything, it is just a constant reminder for them every single day to be practicing safe procedures.
Now, within the system as well, you've got a lot of checklists, and these aren't just individual checklists. Sometimes you've got situations where it might be a project that you're working on over a number of weeks or months, and there's multiple personnel. Does it work well so that if person A comes and does 6 of the checklists, that there's 30 more things to do, person B comes in and it just flows? Is it helping in that regard?
And you need that.
Yep.
You need that. It is something that you want everyone involved in and everyone contributing towards. So it's not just a matter of having one person that's responsible for work health and safety within your business. And so this system with its different checklists allows multiple, ideally all users, to be contributing towards it to get the best outcome. Now
you've got a lot of divisions and departments within a motor group. Are they all using it and they're all separate? I mean, we talked about having the main site and then there's sub-sites, so people using the sub-sites. Is that how it works at Wagga Motors as well?
It does. Look, there's different risks in different areas.
Yep.
So there is going to be a level of utilisation of some areas, more so in the high risk areas, being our workshops, as opposed to our admin or sales areas.
Okay. And what about when it comes to reporting? Because I know one of the big things that Phil loves to talk about in his demonstrations is that you can pretty much just press a button and do an audit report, for instance, or you might be doing a board report, going from management to the board. You hit a button and basically everything comes out. Are you utilising that feature?
Well, there's new reports coming and,
Okay.
and I'm excited by that because that's exactly what you want to get out of the system, so you can then share that information at that different level of management or engagement with staff or board members.
And tell me, before you used online WHS, how was the system at Wagga Motors? Have you improved tenfold? Is it 100 times better? Like, where do you think it stands now that you've got it up and running?
For the fear of perhaps showing how unprofessional we used to be,
Right.
It was very ad hoc, and it sat within the responsibility of each manager, but I think it was reactive.
Yep.
Our work health and safety system and policies. I think online WHS has just allowed it to be more at the front of our business, front of mind, and ideally staying ahead of the curve so we can then minimise the chance of any incident or injury.
One of the big things whenever you put a new system in place at a company is the staff have got to go, oh, we've got to learn how to use this. How are they finding it? Was the training adequate? Are they finding it's user friendly? What's their opinion?
It's ongoing.
Yep.
Without a doubt, the topic of workplace safety can be pretty dry. So we endeavour to have continuing workshops with all of our staff where we talk about safety items and the usability of the system, but we also go on about further welfare programs for our staff. So we're giving a holistic approach to safety.
And what about the contact with online WHS? I mean, we've got the founder himself, Phil Bamford, here on site. If you've got a suggestion or you need to reach out, I mean, how contactable are they?
Look, Phil's been our man, certainly when it comes to trying to give feedback, look for subtle changes and nuances within the system so we can customise it more for our needs. And he's been very responsive in that regard. So I can't endorse him further any more.
And if there is a company out there that's looking, they're just doing the research at the moment, they're probably not even sure about what the costs are, what's your suggestion to them, and how do you feel the value for money is as well by being a customer of online WHS?
It's an interesting question. To monetise it, it is the best money spent, because the alternative, if things go wrong, it's enormous.
Okay.
So it is a form of insurance, but don't treat it like an insurance policy. It's something that you need to interact with and use and make sure it becomes part of your management system.
And what do you say to those that are teetering on the edge going, oh, I'm thinking about it, but maybe not, I'm just in that decision-making mode. What's your biggest piece of advice that you could give to those companies?
You should have rung Phil yesterday.
Right. It's too late. You've got to get in now.
Yep.
Well, Scott, thanks for your time. Is there anything else that you wanted to add? But pretty much you've loved the system by the sound of it.
Yeah. Look, it's an essential ingredient to our business, and it needs to become part of your culture, and your culture needs to be safety focused. And work health and safety, the online system has partnered us in that, because it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to admit to that. There's plenty of moving parts to running your own business. And online WHS has just partnered us to try to navigate us through the expectations, needs and demands that our customers and our staff put on us and that we want to deliver.
Health, work and safety system, management system, and if you haven't called Phil yesterday, you need to call him today. Thanks so much, Scott Bray. We'll go and see it in action over on the floor now.